All right, y'all ready to roll? Let's do it. Look, you came back. Even though I trashed your movies, you still came back? Well, I'm going to trash your movies more today, and then I'm going to run away because we don't have this for the next couple weeks. So let me open in prayer, and then we'll jump in. I do have more movies this week than I did last week because last week I came up a little bit short, which is abnormal for me. We ended early, so we're going to make sure that doesn't happen this week. All right, so let me open in prayer and we will jump right in. Lord, we come before you. We give you this time. We thank you for the group that you've gathered here, and we ask that that we would just enjoy your presence here. In your name, amen. All right, so I do want to start with a confession. There were some movies in my list that I just couldn't watch. They're unwatchable. In my opinion, they're unwatchable, and they might be favorites of yours. I'm not saying they're good or bad, but I am going to show you I think there's 5 of them that I just flat out refuse to watch. So here they are. The Santa Claus, I tried. I actually watched this for about 35 minutes, and I just got angrier and angrier. and I had to turn it off. And I think much of it is because I don't like Tim Allen and I don't like Judge Reinhold, and they're both in here. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm bored. I hate this. Turn it off. And instead I put a different Christmas movie on, which I was just talking to John about, which was 4 Christmases. So I did review that, but I had to stop on this. The next one that I did not review is Little Women. I offered my wife if she wanted to watch it with me. I saw this movie many, many years ago with my wife, but I don't remember it, so I could not review it. But that's a hard watch for me. All right, I could not do National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Look, let me just tell you why. Okay, I don't like Tim Allen, but there's nobody that I don't like more than Chevy Chase. I can't watch him. I can't listen. I can't even look at him. Like, I have to look your way. I do not like Chevy Chase. I'm sorry, Britt. So that movie, I could not do. My apologies. I know that this is a favorite of many people. I could not watch Bad Santa. And I do like Billy Bob Thornton. But I just didn't have any interest. And then I found out they made a Bad Santa 2, and it's worse. So, yeah, I didn't do that one. And then last but not least at all is the Christmas Shoes. I'm pretty sure that you have to turn in your man card if you watch this. And I wasn't willing to do that.
I've never seen
Oh, that's Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe.
I think Rob Lowe just did it to pick up chicks, to be honest with you. I can't watch the Christmas Shoes. I think it's a Hallmark movie that exploded into like the mainstream. So those are the 5 that I did not review that were on my list. The rest of them, I think I reviewed. If there's movies that you love that I didn't go over, my apologies. I just want to remind you that all it takes to be a Christmas movie per the Christmas movies that people watch is that it is filmed during Christmas. So I do have 3 additional Christmas movies that you might not think are Christmas movies, but they certainly are. And we're going to begin with Batman Returns. That is filmed during Christmas, and it is definite, and this is the worst one. The other 2 are classic Christmas movies that I think you all would agree. Movies like Lethal Weapon. Like if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, Lethal Weapon is a Christmas. It doesn't get any better than Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Like So this is filmed during Christmas. You see Christmas decorations and a whole deal. So Lethal Weapon, feel free. Maybe not on Christmas Day, but feel free to pop on Lethal Weapon and still feel as though you're celebrating Christmas. But my personal favorite, besides the three that I gave you last week, which was Die Hard, Gremlins, and Edward Scissorhands, my personal favorite, besides those three, is Rocky IV. This is my favorite Rocky. I know I'm in the minority, but this is my favorite Rocky against the Russian. The fight is on Christmas Day, if you remember. Like, the fight is on Christmas Day. I can't tell you how many times I watched this as a kid. Like,
and you don't like Christmas Vacation?
No. I don't like Chevy Chase. So Rocky IV right there. So feel free to put on Rocky IV. All right. So moving on from there. So now we're actually gonna look at the good Christmas movies. And the good Christmas movies are I put 4 of them in. I put 5 bad ones, and then one like what are you doing movie. And some of these are, some of them you might challenge. So let's just jump right into it. Great Christmas movies would be The Star. Anybody see this? This is a movie that has flown completely under the radar. It is put out by a little smaller kind of animated production. But basically, it tells the story of the Nativity through the animals that are there, like through the camels and the donkeys and all the things. So it's probably not high on your list, but when you're as hard up as I have been for good Christmas movies, The Star is pretty great. So let me tell you why it made the list. The message of the true meaning of Christmas is not lost on this film. And the other thing that's important about it is it does a really good job telling the story without corrupting the Bible. It follows the Bible story all the way through. The only thing that it adds to it is the addition of the animals. Like, obviously the animals weren't talking in the Bible story, and they didn't have this elaborate kind of setup, but it's basically this young donkey who wants to be something greater, and he ends up helping Mary. It's a pretty cool story. It's funny. It's not as funny as a lot of animated movies. It had a low budget. They did the best that they could. The only bad thing I can say about this movie is that Joel Osteen and Oprah Winfrey are 2 of the voices of the characters. And I check out at that point. But if you can push through that, it does have really good voice actors. Tracy Morgan's in there. It's got some high profile names. So, but I had a hard time with Oprah and Joel Osteen. All right, so we're starting out slow, right? Has anybody seen this movie? Mary. So you took a break listening to Milli Vanilli to throw on this talk. Small break. All right. Well. It's a decent watch. It's so better than the Santa Claus.
It's good for grandkids?
It's great for grandkids. Yeah. Okay. Yep. It's actually made for grandkids, young kids, that sort of thing.
She doesn't have any of those. I don't care. It's a cute movie.
Yeah, but it's an animated, and all the animated movies, if you go into them, there's all kind of adults in there. It's like the adults that visit Disney without any kids. Like Disney's full of adults, even though it's made for kids. All right, so moving on from there. I'll actually get to a good one. Here we go. Polar Express. So now you might say, well, Polar Express, that doesn't have anything Christian in there, but a lot of people have viewed this movie as a Christian allegory along the same lines as Narnia and Lord of the Rings kind of deal. And so I want to kind of walk you through so maybe you see the movie in a different light. Because, to be honest with you, there's no blatant Christian things in Polar Express. But let me just walk you through a little bit. So I already shared this with you, kind of akin to Narnia and Lord of the Rings. So it starts out with the image of the Trinity. And the Trinity is Santa Claus and Tom Hanks and the hobo, okay? And all three of them are about bringing whoever's on that train to God. Santa Claus being God the Father, Tom Hanks being Jesus, and the hobo being the Holy Spirit. Now, if you watch that movie, what you'll see is there are three main characters whose role it is to keep the kids having Christmas spirit. And so a lot of people have watched it through that lens. If you so choose to watch it through that lens, I think that you can take away that it is a Christian movie. In addition to that, you have the golden ticket, which is an image of salvation. It gets you into heaven. You've got the bell, which is obviously the most obvious image, which represents faith. And then you have the journey on the train, which represents life's journey. And you know, on that train, like bad things happen, good things happen, just like in your life. And you start, from your house, and then you get on the train, and then where are you going on the train? To the North Pole. You're going to the North Pole. So your house is your life, and then you get on this journey to God, and the journey's full of ups and downs and different things like that. I'm just saying, a lot of people have looked at Polar Express through that lens. Is any of this convincing to you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a feasible image that you can play with. When I was a youth minister, I've never done this before as a priest, but when I was a youth minister, for like 12 years, and I used to teach on movies all the time. We would have movie series, and I taught on. I used Gladiator as a gospel message. I used Braveheart. I used The Matrix. I used all kinds of movies to drive home Christianity, and so a lot of people have done that with Polar Express. I think it's an interesting idea. I don't know that the people that made it had that intention in mind, but you could watch it through that lens. Any thoughts, questions on it?
I can't wait to put that on Christmas Eve. I put it on every year, and now I'm going to look at it.
I can tell you 100%, it doesn't really change your image of Santa Claus or even like Tom Hanks' character, but the hobo, it completely changes your image of what's taking place there.
It's really what am I trying to say? Mesmerizing. When you get into it, you just sort of like almost go into everything else just goes away. You're so engaged in it. It's one of those movies that just instantly.
Yeah, it's a cool movie, and it does. It draws you in to the story, and I think it's done in such a way that you don't normally see movies done. Like the way that it looks is different. Polar Express, I'm putting in the good category. All right, we'll move on to the third good one. The third good one. All right, so this is the biggest stretch of all the. Well, I don't know if it's the biggest. They're all stretch. But the Grinch. I think that there's something to the Grinch. I love watching the Grinch, and every time I watch the Grinch, it draws me into Christianity. And so I just wanted to just explore that a little bit. I'm not specifically Christian, but it does contain some parallel spiritual themes. such as the true meaning of Christmas. The Who celebrate even without gifts, food, decorations. Like the Grinch takes everything that we surround ourselves and say, this is Christmas. The Grinch takes it all away and they still celebrate. And I think that's a pretty cool message that's being driven home there. And even if that's the only message in the whole movie, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. So, admittedly, the movie doesn't tell you what Christmas is about, but it does tell you what Christmas is not about. And sometimes I think that it's helpful enough to just tell me what it's not about. Now, do I wish that the Grinch would have taken that one step further and said, this is what Christmas is about? I do. I wish they would have. But they didn't. But I think they did enough for it to warrant, like, this is a pretty good movie to watch. Apparently, people do not like the Jim Carrey Grinch. Is this true? Like everything I read about the Grinch is don't watch the Jim Carrey Grinch, it's horrible. And then my son Cohen back there told me that the Jim Carrey Grinch is awful. I've watched both of them. I personally love the Jim Carrey Grinch, but I love Jim Carrey, so.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
It's like DreamWorks, I think it's good. I like that one.
What happened?
Cohen says no. All right. Well, I will. Contrary to what Cohen says, I will give it a shot.
That's the version I was.
Yeah. So like the older one.
That's the original.
That's what everybody told me to watch.
No.
And so, but I like the Jim Carrey version. I thought it was cool. But apparently a lot of people don't. And Jim Carrey, he actually had physical problems doing that movie with like the suit, like putting on all the stuff that he had to put on. So I at least want to support him in the hardship of doing the role. So anyways, I think The Grinch is a pretty good movie. What else do we got? We got redemption, reconciliation. The Grinch returns to the Who's and brings back all the stuff that he took, representing repentance, turning around, making reconciliation. I think it's pretty cool. In short, the story can be seen as a parallel of grace. No one is beyond redemption, and love has the power to soften even the coldest heart. It's not one of the best, but it's decent enough. All right, so here's my favorite. This. I have been waiting to share this with you for quite a long time because I think you're going to push back on this. But great Christian Christmas movie, right there. Right there. Now, I'm going to walk you through why I believe that this is a Christian movie, and it all comes down to one scene in this movie. And I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. But I think this is amazing. And this is not my original idea. Tons of work has been done to make Home Alone a Christian movie. So there are YouTube videos you can watch on this. There's tons of stuff on this. So what I'm sharing with you, not my original idea. But I do find it strangely compelling. So let's go through Home Alone is a Christian movie. It's been discussed for years. The videos I was watching were 9 years old of people arguing Home Alone as a Christian movie. And it's all going to start with the church scene, okay? So you have Kevin, he's walking outside, and he stops and he looks at the church, and you can hear the music like Kevin can hear the music outside the church. And something draws him to go into the church. And he does. He enters into the church. He's drawn by the sound of worship. When he walks into the church, it's "O Holy Night," and the specific words are "Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices." Pretty cool. So you got Kevin, he's walking by the church, he hears what's going on in there, and he's drawn in, and he goes in, and the song, "Oh Holy Night" is playing, okay? So then, when he gets in there, do you remember what happens when he gets in there? What's that?
He sees his neighbor, right?
Yeah, he sees
Yes.
Old Man Marley.
Yep.
And he's terrified. If you remember the movie, he's terrified of Old Man Marley. So he's gonna go in. There's Old Man Marley. He's gonna go in, and he notices Old Man Marley. And when he notices him, he's like this, like he's terrified. This is the last person that he expected to find in there. And Old Man Marley throughout the movie is a Christ figure. And this is what I taught on various movies. You want to find that Christ figure in the movie. In Home Alone, it's Old Man Marley. And so he stands as the Christ figure. So Kevin sees him, he's shocked, but then Old Man Marley comes over and he sits down and they have a conversation. During the conversation, Kevin, he's approached by him, they have a conversation, and Old Man Marley says, "Do not be afraid." What does Jesus say when he appears to most people? Like when Jesus comes into the presence of people, one of the most common things that Jesus says is, "Do not be afraid." Old Man Marley says, "Do not be afraid." And then you find Kevin confesses to Old Man Marley. In the pew, there's a confession that takes place. Do you remember what the confession is? What's that?
That he hasn't been very good.
Yes, Old Man Marley asks him, "Have you been a good boy?" And Kevin confesses, "No, I've not been a good boy." And this confession takes place in the pew. Now, here's where this is where we're going to move to a whole new level, okay? So you got the confession takes place, and then, that's the confession. They shake hands, and if you remember the movie, when they shake hands, it's like, so Britt, shake my hand. We shake hands, and the camera zooms right in on the handshake. Okay? So it's going to zoom in. So Britt's Old Man Marley, and I'm, and I'm Kevin.
You only knew.
You're the Christ figure. Yes. So Britt's Old Man Marley, the camera zooms in, and this is what the camera shows you when it zooms in. You may not have noticed it in the movie, but Old Man Marley's hand is bandaged. And when it zooms in, you're going to see a Band-Aid over the top of his hand, right in the center. Now, this is several scenes put together here. In fact, his hand is pierced because when Kevin runs into Old Man Marley in the store, his hand is wrapped. This is the image of his hand wrapped. And he's got blood down here, he's got blood up here. And so his hand is actually pierced. You can see that's in the store, that's in the church, and that's at the end of the movie, and you can see the Band-Aid on there. The Band-Aid here, the Band-Aid there. His hand is pierced all the way through, and the movie never... Yeah. The movie never tells you why his hand is bandaged. It never explains the bandages on his hand, but it appears as though it is pierced all the way through. Pretty cool. So, at the end of the movie, Kevin cannot save himself from the bandits, and who saves Kevin? It's Old Man Marley. Home Alone preaches the gospel of Jesus Christ. Britt is not convinced.
I just think it's a stretch.
It is a bit of a stretch, but
I mean, that's really cool. I never noticed all that.
Bishop's wife, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why, because it's on there. All right. Yeah, Sue?
No.
In the olden days, when we went to
college, we didn't go to the Gators or any of the Big Ten schools. We went to Wittenberg, which was a Lutheran school.
Yes.
And we had to take a religion course. And so I picked one out, and like most kids that age, I probably didn't really want to go. And he was really a lot of fun because he started out with, what's a Christian movie? And this is what you're purporting, that it's not necessarily the film of Moses or Ben-Hur or anything like that. It's the one that have the true meaning of being a Christian.
100% agree. So, I mean, it's the same thing with Polar Express that I'm doing with Home Alone. We're watching it through a different lens. I understand the lens that they presented the movie as. But as a Christian, can you watch it through a different lens and see things that are somewhat intriguing? I think the church scene is highly intriguing. Laurie?
I would say that as a mom, what really gets you, and I have to see this every year, is the lengths she goes to get back home as quick as she can.
Yeah.
Even though she could have, it ends up her family arrives there basically at the same time she does. But she ends up in a van with some hobo, some.
Come on, that's John Candy.
It's great.
It's like my favorite part of the movie. When John Candy shows up, I'm like, my God!
I know, the characters are
And you don't like
amazing.
Jimmy.
I love John
He's
Candy.
a total kid, no matter what, she
Such a big
just
kid.
like Jesus loves us, no matter what, I mean, he'll go to all lengths to get to us, to get,
Yeah.
bring us to.
Yeah, no, that's another cool image. So that's my spiel on Home Alone. Those are the four. Okay, everything else I watched, I believe, has problems. So let me walk you through the bad, because I'm running a little bit behind here. So that's Home Alone. Let's jump into the bad, and we're gonna jump right into Elf.
Yeah. I hate
Now, I will confess, this is one of my favorite movies,
No.
Christmas movies, and
Friends.
I watched this movie not even at Christmas time. like when the midget guy gets up there and says, "Call me an elf one more time," like that I laugh like out loud, hysterically. I love it. So
stand Will Ferrell.
what's
I
that?
like Will Ferrell like you don't like Chevy Chase.
I don't even like Will Ferrell. The only two Will Ferrell movies I like is Talladega Nights and this. That is it. I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan, but there's something about what he does in this movie that it gets me. And I do like Zoe, the girl. Like, I'll watch anything she's in. All right, so Elf, not that great. Elf does they put a big emphasis on believing and not seeing. And the problem is it never takes faith beyond Santa or Christmas spirit. And which is really disappointing to me because they could have. Like, he did it in Talladega Nights. Do you remember in Talladega Nights where they have the prayer? Like, yes, baby Jesus is my favorite Jesus. You pray to whatever Jesus you want to pray to. I'm praying to baby Jesus. Like, he could have done that. It would have been so easy. Like, it's not beyond Will Ferrell to do this. He did it in another movie. Now he's doing a Christmas movie, and he just skirts around it, and he doesn't do it, and it's disappointing to me. Because it was right there. Like, it was right there so many times. And instead of taking the opportunity, he just kind of goes around it. So for me, that's disappointing. So Elf is not on my good list, even though I think you should watch it because it's really funny. All right, so, I got more on Elf. Christmas spirit is a theme that dominates the movie. Does a good job on that, but that's kind of about it. It fails to deliver on believing in what. And it never provides like the opportunity for deeper discussion. So Elf is on there. All right. I do have to say, have you seen this? Yes. I do have to say, for whatever reason, I enjoyed this movie a ton. Like, it's so weird. This movie's from like 44. It's black and white, and all it is conversations. And I was just brought into the conversations. I was just, the characters were really good. I thought the movie was super interesting. I enjoyed the movie. But it's not a good Christmas movie. The whole thing revolves around this store, and they're selling stuff during Christmas. But that's all that Christmas is in this movie. Like, there's no deeper aspects of this. It's just all the employees at this one store, and they're like the salespeople, and it happens to be Christmas, leading up to Christmas, and then it gets to like actual Christmas Eve, and they're selling things, and they have record sales that day. And it was a really interesting movie, but there's really nothing there, and I can't understand why you would watch this during Christmas. You could watch this movie anytime, and it would be relevant. You could watch this movie in March. I recommend watching it. It's a good movie. I was entertained the whole time. Make sure you're awake though, like, because there's no nothing in here but talking. There's one gunshot. That's it. All right, so I saw very little Christmas, very few decorations. They're decorating the store window in this, and that's pretty much it. A few references to gifts. I actually like the movie, but it's not specifically Christmas, so if you're sitting down like, I'm going to watch a Christmas movie, this probably is not it. It does have some famous people in it. I can't remember who's in it. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I don't know who these people are. I'll be honest with you. I'll be 100% honest with you. I have never watched a movie from the 40s until these last 2 weeks.
Those are the best ones.
Black and white.
Humphrey Bogart.
Mark, do you watch movies from the 40s?
Only Wizard of Oz. It's the only one. What was that?
30s.
All right, the Wizard of Oz is like my mom's favorite movie, and because she made me watch it so much, I hate the Wizard of Oz. I will never of my own choosing pick to watch the Wizard of Oz. All right.
Margot. That's a great movie.
The 40s.
Humphrey Bogart.
Classic period.
What?
The 40s were a classic period.
Yeah.
Well, I watched many movies from the 40s for this. All right, so I like the movie, but it's not specifically Christmas. It's pretty much a love story. That's about it. But it is interesting. All right, so moving on from there. This is my biggest disappointment because I really like this movie. I hadn't seen it for a long time. I decided to sit down and watch it again. None of my family would watch it with me. So it was me all by myself. And the movie has so many great opportunities to drive home the gospel, and it never does. And it's just really disappointing to me. So if you're not familiar with the movie, Jack Skellington he's like the king of Halloween Town. And there is a Christmas town that he discovers, and when he discovers it, and this is the really cool part, he is mesmerized by it. He is disenchanted with Halloween Town, and he loves what's taking place in Christmas Town, and he wants to bring Christmas Town to Halloween Town. He actually does. He steals Santa, and then everything goes bad. But it was right on the cusp of you are about to make an amazing move right here, and instead Tim Burton backed up and took the shallow route. And it was so disappointing to me because I really thought this was going to be in the good movies. I really did. I had it sitting with a thumbnail right in the good movies the entire time. And when I finally watched it, I was like, there's no way that I can put that in the good movies. They did everything they could to not go down that road. And it just stayed with Santa. So it is kind of disappointing to me. But the thing you can take away is that the king of Halloween Town, in all of the glory of what Halloween Town offered, was empty. And when he saw Christmas Town, that was it. Like, he immediately knew that he was on to something special. Now, if you just would have went 2 steps down that road, it would have been amazing, but he didn't. So, Nightmare Before Christmas is pretty big disappointment to me. Just took the shallow route on that. Questions so far?
Still a good one.
All right. It is a very good movie. You can watch this anywhere from September through December. Like, it's amazing. The window on this movie is pretty cool. In fact, Cullen was debating me. He's like, that's a Halloween movie. I'm like, no, it's a Christmas movie. And I don't think we can settle on it because it's both. I think it's a Thanksgiving movie. All right, so moving on from there, 4 Christmases. Now, this is what I watched instead of the Santa Claus. Anybody seen this movie? A little bit newer.
Yesterday.
So, did you say yesterday? Yesterday. All right. I will watch anything with Renee and Vince Vaughn. I love them too. Putting them in the same movie is incredible. Although it is a very entertaining movie, and they do talk about Jesus in this movie. Jesus does show up, which is more than you can say for most of the movies in the naughty list. But Jesus does show up in this movie. The problem is again, it's very shallow Jesus, and they never go anywhere with it. But 4 Christmases follow those two who are dating, and every year they go on a big vacation rather than spend the Christmas with their family, because their families are crazy. And then one year, their flights get canceled, and their family sees them on the news talking about their flight canceled. And the families are like, well, now you got to come spend Christmas with us. They have 2 divorced families, so they got to spend with her mom and her dad and his mom and his dad. So that's how they have 4 Christmases. And it walks you through all of the 4 Christmases. Now, you don't get into the Jesus one until you get to the second Christmas, which is her mom, and that's where you're meeting. When they pull up to the house, do you remember like the movie Dogma, Buddy Jesus? Do you remember Buddy Jesus? Where Jesus is like this? Wait, no, he's like this? Yeah. And so when they pull up, there's like a blow-up giant Buddy Jesus in the yard. And you know that it's going to be really good the moment you see that. And so, you know, it's pretty funny. They end up being in the Christmas pageant at the church where he's Joseph and she's Mary. It's really, really funny. But it's pretty shallow, and they don't actually go into what Christmas is about. They just kind of skirt around it. But Jesus does show up, which I was impressed with. There you go. At least it mentions Jesus. None of the Jesus parts are particularly uplifting or thought-provoking, although they are funny. What's that?
He did swallow the baby.
He did swallow the baby. At one point, she's holding a real baby, and she smashes the baby's head into it's crazy. And yeah, that's a real baby. So when she volunteered to be Mary, she doesn't have any kids, and she thought she was going to hold a doll, and they give her a real baby. And she's like, it's a real baby. It's funny. It's not a great Christmas movie, though, but it is funny if you're looking for that. All right, so here we go, Sarah. Bishop's Wife. All right. Okay. Now, I will say with this one, again, I was entertained. I was very much entertained with the movie, the whole thing. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this, maybe you saw The Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston, which is kind of like a remake of The Bishop's Wife, kind of modern day. I think Denzel Washington's in it as well. But we're doing The Bishop's Wife rather than The Preacher's Wife. So here's the deal on The Bishop's Wife. Have you seen this? People seen this? Okay. The Bishop's Wife is about a bishop who is trying to build a cathedral, and he's having a hard time. And because he's having a hard time, his wife is being neglected. And so there's conflict in the marriage, there's conflict with trying to build the cathedral, and then he prays, and an angel, angels in Christmas movies kind of go together, an angel comes down and is going to solve his problem for him. And so Dudley is the angel who's been sent to earth to assist. And this is Dudley, the angel, and this is the bishop's wife. And the bishop is off doing bishopy things because that's the problem. He's not spending time with his wife because he's so involved in what's going on with the church. And so Dudley, instead of helping the bishop do the cathedral, Dudley takes care of the bishop's wife. It's a problem for me.
Wait, Todd. You have completely skipped over the fact that the movie opens with the full chorus of "Hark the Herald Angels Sing."
I need more than a song.
You were touting songs as being movies about Christmas that never say the name of Jesus. They never say.
This movie says the name of Jesus once, and it is the last. This is the last sentence, basically, of the entire... I sat through the whole movie with a checklist of how many times is it going to say Jesus, and I didn't check it off until 1 hour and 43 minutes.
The newborn king, they talk about the Immaculate One, they talk about the Savior, they talk about all these other things that are the names of Jesus.
Let me walk through this, and then you bring your complaints. So here's the deal. So Dudley's taking care of the bishop's wife while the bishop's out doing his thing. Okay, I have great problems with this because Dudley actually starts falling for the bishop's wife, and immediately, this is problematic for me. Angels are non-sexual beings. This is a ridiculous storyline. I don't like that the angel that God sent is now falling for the bishop's wife. Like, that's highly problematic for me. I have a wife. I'm in the church. If an angel shows up and starts falling for my wife, we're going to have problems. Angel or not. And it's the same thing with Rich. I'm probably going to lose, but we're going to have problems. So I don't like this whole angel falling for the bishop's wife at all. And that's a pretty big part of this movie. In addition to that, the movie largely considered a Christmas movie because it takes place at Christmas. You could have moved this movie anywhere and it would have been any other kind of movie because there's very little nativity or story of Jesus except for the final sermon, which if you actually read that sermon is an awful sermon, rewritten by the angel without permission. I'm just saying. The bishop wrote a sermon, handed it to the angel, or handed it to his secretary. The bishop comes in, takes it from the secretary, says, I will take care of this, takes the sermon, throws it away, and then rewrites his own sermon. The bishop gets up there, he's like, what in the world is going on? So then he ends up telling this. And what's worse about it is that clergy have taken this sermon and they include it into their Christmas sermon. I'm not lying. All right, so... I'm getting there soon. So this movie is unique in the fact that there is a lot of church. There's tons of church in here, but there's not tons of Jesus in here. And you can do a lot of church without any Jesus. And what I want is more Jesus and less church. But there is a ton of church in here. And from my perspective, it was very interesting because watching the bishop maneuver between people and raising money and all the conflicts that he has, I found that super interesting. But it's a lot of church, which you might expect. There's also a lot of angel stuff in there, which goes along with Christmas stuff. But there is no Jesus except one line in the bishop's Christmas Eve sermon. So the reason that I don't like this movie as a Christmas movie is because it does not really address the nativity, the story of Jesus at all, even though it's situated in church. I think that this movie reveals the problem of church, is that you can do all this stuff. You can be so much about church and lose Jesus. And to me, that's what this movie did. So much about church and they lost Jesus. And then when the angel is falling in love with the bishop's wife, that's a problem for me. Sarah?
Oh, boy.
I don't have a lot of time because I could go to the
First
deuces.
of all,
but-
Jesus Christ was tempted like as we are, yet without sin. So an angel could certainly be tempted and without sin.
They're non-sexual beings.
There was no sex in the story. There was love, there was no sex, there was never even a kiss. And at the moment that Loretta Young sees that Cary Grant's feeling this way, she says, you must go away and never come back. There is absolute faithfulness to the marriage vows. Number one. Number two, there are at least 2 full Christmas anthems without any pulled language or any dilution of Christmas, sung beautifully. Once the beginning of the movie, once the middle of the movie, the words of Christmas are said repeatedly. And then there is the fact that in the movie, the marriage is restored through correct values, Christian values, coming back to the center of David Niven's focus, the bishop, to the center of his focus. That's restorative. There is the fact that
I blew her mind.
I just think I just have a whole lot of trouble with you finding this movie less about Christmas than Polar Express or Home Alone.
It's filmed in a church. So obviously you're going to have songs in the church. But if you film something in the church and Jesus is completely absent except for a song, like I have a problem with that. But I get it. This is, a lot of people like this movie.
I'm right. Have a nice day.
Okay. All right. So here's my final doozy, and then catch me after the service. So here's the, oh my gosh, why are we watching this? Right here. Okay, not there. Worst Christmas movie right there. Meet Me in St. Louis. You familiar with this movie? All right. So real quick, because I'm running out of time. So I'm going to walk you through this movie. This is a story, absolutely no reference to Jesus at all in here. It's about family, love, change, all those things. This also pretty interesting movie. I enjoyed it. But I must admit, it is entertaining. The real reason that this movie is on the list is not anything in the movie. It is everything in the background of making this movie. And the background of making this movie is a total train wreck. And I just would not want to watch something that comes from this sort of environment during Christmas. I'm not going to do it. You can. But let me bring you into the story here. So the first is Lucille Bremer. Anybody familiar with her? No. There's a reason why you're not familiar with her. She is Rose in this. So she has the second largest part in this movie. She was only given that because she was sleeping with the producer, which is Arthur Freed. The only reason she got that role is because she was sleeping with the producer of the film. Well, that's why I'm sharing it with you. So, she's sleeping with the producer. And by the way, this is all knowledge that is out there, and it's out there from a lot of it from Judy Garland's biography. She's sleeping with the producer, and Judy Garland hated her. And the reason she hated her, because she was such a terrible actress, Judy Garland said it was like acting to a stoned wall. Like their dialogues back and forth, Judy Garland just absolutely hated. But the only way that she got this role is because she's sleeping with the producer. In addition to that, Judy Garland also has her own issues. So her love interest in the movie is John Truitt, played by Tom Drake. You're familiar with Tom Drake? I'm not, but some people are. Tom Drake. So she's not just interested in him in the movie, she's interested in him in real life. She has pursued him consistently while making this film, and she actually does sleep with him. The moment she sleeps with him, she immediately loses interest. And so now there's all this tension between her and him in this film. Okay? So, well, you're going to find out why she lost interest. And it's not what you think. All right, so the moment she sleeps with him, she immediately loses interest. Tom Drake is also problematic in this movie. Tom Drake's an American, all-American boy who also loved other all-American boys, which is probably why Judy Garland lost interest the moment she got him in bed. So Tom Drake is gay as can be. So now there's this tension that's in there, which obviously might be why she lost interest. As one person stated, never let it be said that gay men didn't love Judy Garland. And I'll share more as we go on. Okay, so that's Tom Drake's story in here. Vincent Minnelli, Liza Minnelli's father, Judy Garland's mother to Liza Minnelli. So she's going to marry Vincent Minnelli. But when they make this, they're not married. And so she is going to get married about a year after this movie comes out to Vincent, who, by the way, is also gay. So she slept with two men on producing this movie, and both of them are gay. This is a total disaster. And I just have no interest in watching this. So wasn't enough to get her in bed. In addition, Judy Garland is taking like every drug that you can possibly imagine. After they divorce, she tries to kill herself by stabbing a piece of glass into her neck. Like, this is wild stuff. I don't know. I don't want my Christmas movies wrapped up in all this garbage. I just don't.
All the other movies we've talked about have had nothing going on backstage.
Well, I have no idea. But this one has clearly been revealed, and a lot of it is revealed through Judy Garland's own biography. So you can find all this information online. I just had no interest in that. So that is The Worst. And they lived happily ever after. You're good to go. Go to church. It was fun.